in the morning.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a sports show. We just have a lot of fun. Talk about it's national TV, so we got to talk about every sport and every team. But I would rather just talk Buccaneers football. But we got to make sure we welcome everybody to the show. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy doing that.
Excellent. I recently saw a movie called 100 Yards of Hope, and then I saw you inside of this feature. Can you tell me about your experience with Force Blue?
Yeah, I have to thank Force Blue for, I would say, pushing me to do this, because I was afraid of the water. You know, growing up being a kicker, I didn't want to have my feet in the water or my legs in the water, so I feared the water. And all of a sudden they call me up, hey, do you want to dive with us? I go, well, let me think about it. And then 2 days later, the whole thing was set up, so I couldn't back out, especially when you're working with military guys that, you know, give up so much for our freedoms. I'm like, I can't chicken out. You know, I gotta make the kickers look good, and I'll do it. And it's been the most awesome experience I think I've ever done it. I have a new appreciation for the water, being under the water, and just love hanging out with them. It's like a family. And I appreciate them welcoming me to the family, because anytime we hang out, it's like, I feel like I'm back in the locker room. You know, that kind of team bonding. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like. We have one common goal, which is to restore our reefs, restore our oceans. And with football, it's the same thing. You're in the locker room, your one common goal is to win a championship. So I love it. I love being a part of it.
Thank you for that. I wanted to mention that about Force Blue. I don't think people know about the devastation of our coral reefs and how much of an impact that makes on our Earth and our planet. So if you could, how could we do a mentioning of Force Blue, or how to help, or how to raise awareness?
Well, absolutely. You can go on their website, forceblue.com. They have all the information there. They're on Instagram, social media. So anywhere, any social media platform, Force Blue's there. And there's a way to help out. And they partner up with the NFL as well. So that's probably the best place. And the message is keep our beaches clean. You know that, because that's we did a beach cleanup for the Super Bowl, and it's incredible how much garbage is under the water that we don't see. But the fish, they feel that. So it's been really rewarding and a lot of fun to be a part of.
Well, and obviously it's a great project, but you got to indulge me on this question. It was a good summer for Argentina. Messi obviously got his first Copa America title, first major trophy. But the next day, another team wearing blue, Italy, won the Euro Cup. So I want to know, even though you're wearing red tonight, if you think the team wearing blue might have a little luck behind them tonight.
Well, I think team wearing baby blue is Argentina, so dark blue, not so much. So, sorry, but no, today I'm all red, you know. And Argentina is playing tonight too. Messi's they have about 30% capacity stadium against Bolivia, so we have the two goats playing. So I'll be watching one on the iPad and calling the other one live. So I'm excited about tonight. A lot of sports.
What's new?
And calling it live, though, like, obviously coming off the Super Bowl, I mean, anything that comes off the Super Bowl, we know they didn't get out all 22 guys back on offense and defense, but just the pregame festivities, I mean, for a player, because not to burn extra energy, all that adrenaline, the ring ceremony, the celebration,
right.
How hard is that for a player to calm down and just then focus on the game?
Right, no, it's really hard. Basically, tonight we can compare it to like a Super Bowl, because there's going to be things that are happening that are different than any regular game. But more importantly, I think having the fans here for the first time, and that's why we're here, to welcome our fans. And Bud Light did a great job with the red carpet, because that's what it's about. As a player, you love playing with a full stadium, you love hearing your fans, and we haven't been able to give Tom Brady his proper welcome. You know, last year when we signed him, there were no fans in the stadium, and you see him running down the tunnel with all the smoke and nobody to cheer for him. So now our fans can say thank you for coming to Tampa, but also thank you for bringing back another Super Bowl. So it's a double double celebration tonight.
Tampa Bay has probably a top 3 offense. Before Dak went down, he led the league in yards 2 weeks after his injury. Should we expect a shootout tonight?
Well, our defense, I believe, is a little bit better than the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are probably starting, I think, 7 new defensive players. So I feel personally that, you know, Tom Brady could have a field day. Even though you have really good athletes, they're still not meshing. You know, we heard the PSG coach, talk about, I have a bunch of stars, but I don't have a team yet, because it doesn't matter how good the players are if they don't have chemistry.
Right.
And even last year with our offense, it took a little bit of a while for Tom Brady to get used to his teammates, and the teammates get used to him, and until they started meshing. They were all great athletes. They just hadn't worked together yet. So I think that's where Dallas may have a little bit of a struggle, just getting that chemistry going, But once they get that, as far as the offense, I mean, Dak, it's an unbelievable quarterback. Hopefully Zeke Elliott comes back to being the Zeke Elliott that we saw before his contract, and he's hungry again. I hear he's in the best shape he's ever been. He's probably back to the same playing weight that he played in college. So he stayed at the facility all summer, trained all summer, so he's ready to go. So it's going to be challenging. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I think right now Tampa may have more firepower, but also more chemistry than the Cowboys.
I usually think it's ridiculous when people talk about an undefeated season. But when I look at this roster, I look at the depth, I look at the schedule, and there's only one, maybe two bumps in the road. Could this actually happen?
Look, it's the NFL. I mean, the games are so close, and you could have the worst team in the league playing the best team in the league, and it could be a defensive battle with not a lot of scoring. So would we want that? I think that's what Brady wants to finish out, because you saw after the Super Bowl, Giselle went up to him, what else do you have to prove? And that's true. I mean, he's pretty much accomplished everything he's ever needed in football. The only thing is he hasn't had an undefeated season with a championship. He had the undefeated season, they lost the Super Bowl, so maybe that's it. Who knows? But it's really hard to go undefeated, because every now and then you're going to struggle. I mean, last year after the Chicago game or the Saints game, the regular season, the second one, you thought, okay, we're awful. And then all of a sudden they turn it on and we win the Super Bowl. So you're going to have that dip where chemistry or fatigue sets in and mental fatigue sets in. So you may have that dip. It's really hard to be undefeated. Would I love it? Absolutely. But I don't know. You got to be a real realist and say you may slip up here and there.
Now, your 2002-2003 squad. Well, 2001-2002, my apologies. And this 2020 squad. Could your defense from back in the day deal with this offense in 2021?
Listen, if I say no, I'm going to have Brooks, Sapp, Lynch, all those guys coming after me. So I'm going to say absolutely. I mean, we have Hall of Famers. Right now, if you think about it, this offense only has one Hall of Famer, maybe two with Gronk, and some future, possibly, Mike Evans could end up being there. So I'm going to say yes, because I don't want to make my teammates mad. But, this is an awesome offense. So I'm happy that we have that offense now.
And you guys were, I would say you guys were maybe a little bit nastier on getting back in that day. But you obviously had a phenomenal kicking career. You always hear athletes say, oh, no matter what sport is the same, they tune the noise out. On a home game, it's different when you're trying to get, obviously, the last second kick to win the game. But on the road, is it hard to really, just block all that sound out of 60,000 fans, just obviously, of the other team wanting you to miss?
Well, you hear noise, but you don't know what it is. And that's why I said, I think last year it was a lot harder to kick, because it's so quiet. So you do hear your opponent talking trash, calling you names. In the past, I've never heard a word, and I know I can see their lips moving, but you hear all the ambience noise, and you're so focused on what you're doing that you really don't. I only remember one time hearing, actually it was with the Cowboys, my first game with the Cowboys, playing the Giants at their stadium, and it was the last second kick, and I heard just the music. And it was that song Under Pressure, and I think they put that on just to psych you out. And that's all I remember. So when I hear that song, it reminds me of that kick. But it went through, so I'm happy that when I hear that song. If not, I'd be depressed every time I hear it. But that's the only time I really felt or heard. But I was still extremely focused, but it was just so loud, I guess. Other than that, you just kind of, it's just ambient noise, and you just kind of, it's a blur.
You got my follow-up there, so I was going to say, visiting teams always want you to miss, but I love that. I was hoping you mentioned that kick for the Cowboys, because I love that kick.
Yes.
Tampa Bay has the lowest winning percentage of any NFL team. Ironically, they have 2 Super Bowl titles. One of the Bengals, one of the Lions, Jags, etc. 03-04, last time a team went back-to-back. How do you like Tampa Bay's chances this year?
Well, who did it last time?
The Patriots, under Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. So, the thing is, the fans, I think, assume we're already Super Bowl champs again, and there's so many things I need to go right. First of all, you can't have any injuries. If we have any major injuries, that's going to derail things. And also, the ball has to bounce your way. Last year, I feel like one of the biggest play, if not the biggest play of the season, was Winfield Jr. stripped, fumbling with the Saints, and then Devin White picks up that ball because, the Saints were up by 3, they were going in to score, and we turned that ball around. And then after that's when Drew Brees makes all the mistakes. So that's one, the Scotty Miller pass against Green Bay, and right before the half, that's huge. Aaron Rodgers not running the ball on third down with 3rd and 9, I think it was, with I mean, my kids could have ran into at least the one, you know. So that's why those plays make a huge difference in the season. So we need to have those type of plays this year. The ball has to bounce your way, but signing everybody back, you know, and Jason Light and Bruce Arians did a phenomenal job. Well, the whole Buccaneer organization getting everybody back, so it gives you hope. And I feel like you have to be the favorite when you bring everybody back that's defending the title. But at the end of the day, you still have to play the games, and the ball still has to bounce your way at times.
Mr. Gramatica, thank you very much. Could you tell us one more time where can we catch your show?
Yes, zliving.com is the best place to find us, or whatever network provider you have. So you live at a different channel on every one. And if not, you can follow me on Martin Gramatica 7 on Instagram. Then I always post where the show is going to be or what we're going to talk about.
Automatic Gramatica, thank you, sir, and go Bucks.
Thank you guys. Yes, go Bucks. Sorry.